Hey everyone, welcome back to Jaraci Cup 9. Continuing coverage of the group stage, we move back to Group B. We were already in Group B. Gosh darn it, I'm so bad at words. Anyway, it's another game from SickIGN. Like I said, I'll cast them all in order as they were uploaded. So this is the next one on the thing, on the queue. And it's going to be SickIGN versus Cookies. Cookies again playing with his yellow and purple stripe here. Being the Conf forces here, as we saw in the previous series that he played. Let me open up our info.txt. Looks like he had the pick first here. SickIGN picked Coalition to match, and he picked Kalash Teeth. Cookies did, that is. And again, you must remember, Conf has a very strong late game potential on this map if he manages to get to his win. Well, yeah, I'll just call him win conditions, I guess, on Kalash Teeth, you know, but that's Conf Siege and carrier power, right? Because the carrier, with the missiles over the rocks here, so powerful, and Conf Siege kind of acts like an assault cruiser, the way that it can, you know, come up and have this really big, like, close range damage. You've got to deal with it, and these choke points are so good for it that way. But also, it has the barrage ability over the rocks again, so very, very strong potential late game for Conf here. And SickIGN looks like just going to go with SC first here. He's not planning on doing any shenanigans in the early game. He's quite an LAV player, SickIGN is. What I really would want to see from him this game is probably like assault cruiser artillery, but I think this is a very, very good pick for Cookies because you don't see SickIGN do this, and you really don't see him AV rush, right? Which is something that you might be susceptible to on Kalash Teeth, so I think this pick is pretty big brain actually. I don't know if Cookies was thinking about this, but like, it feels to me that SickIGN has really not very good chances on this map here. That being said, he may well win game 2. I think, oh, that's kind of cool. There's a bit of backstory. Who won that one? I'd like to know. But yeah, there's, I think SickIGN probably, I think, is the better player, although I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I need to see more games between these two, but hey, that's what this is for. But I don't know, I feel like Cookies just wins this map probably, just because like he's much more prepared for the kind of gameplay you need to win this map in particular. Assault Ship Tech is done, by the way, and actually the first one building already. We saw Cookies do this against Marchbladen, going up with some 1PC assault ship builds here. And by the way, the way you say you felt very confident like with the builds and stuff, that is big brain. You must have been thinking about it when you picked Kalash Teeth. And like I said, that's really a good call. I mean, this is a map that I think SickIGN is going to struggle with. Right now, though, he's really kind of fallen asleep at the wheel, not really reacting to this assault ship push here at all. Needs to bring the base printer, like, well, really the base printer probably should have just been camping here. But yeah, we could see salvagers go down here, actually. This is pretty rough for SickIGN. He will kill off this assault ship here. A little bit of misfire from Cookies there, so it's kind of nice for SickIGN. Bit of a freebie there, at a time that he really desperately needs it, right? As well, Cookie's actually not focus firing super well with the skim, so he's going to lose a bit more than he should have to. But SickIGN, like I said, really falling asleep at the wheel. The carrier comes back when you're getting 1PC pushed like this. Because if you can just keep the salvagers alive, you're going to be looking a lot better. Like, if any salvagers die, you've basically succeeded as the attacking player, so if the carrier comes back here, you know, sure, we're not going to be on 2 base, but, like, our opponent sure isn't, you know, so that's okay for, oh, what's going on over here? Ooh. But yeah, Cookie's probably going to back Alf after this. That turret is set up, of course, which makes it very hard to do anything. See, I wouldn't be surprised if Cookies backs up now and goes for ref mode or something like that. He didn't have to get fleet cap 45. He never reached that cap there, so that's actually nice for him, because now he can go to ref mode without having to get it, so that's pretty big, actually. We'll see when he gets that started up. Yeah, he is bringing the PC back, so I think that's on his mind. And the assault ship's going to come up here and try and pressure second base now. Obviously, there is a turret here, so that's the right call. Although they maybe are getting in a little bit deep here, because they are going to die. And actually, very nice carrier blocking from SickIGN as well. If he moves like this now, oh, that would have been perfect. But he actually keeps them both alive. Okay, that's really big for SickIGN. Very, very nicely done. Again, he could have, like, carrier blocked. Could have been a little bit cleaner, but, like, he got it done, so nice. That's gonna look good. Sick HP moment. I'm trying so hard. It's yeah, this is still not bad for Cookies though. He does have to worry about this LAV blob now. This might slow him down getting up onto 2 base, but ref mode is almost done, which is what he wants. So this is not at all, you know, not at all bad for Cookies. It could have gone a little bit better, but he is probably feeling okay about this. Ref mode is done before these guys have to drop, but they still try to go to the carrier. Oh, the idiots. There's a little bit of a delay before they realize that they can go to this PC. I think it's something about like it checks where the closest refinery is every like so many seconds or something, because otherwise it would strain the CPU too much. But oh well, it's not a big deal. He only lost like 1 CU for that, I bet. So I overanalyze as always. Fleet Cap 45 though, really gonna want to be teched here. Ooh, assault ship nearly dies there. In fact, that's the thing. He needs more assault ships than just. Well, he's got 3 now actually. Okay, that's good. But he needs probably still more than this if there's gonna be a lot of LAVs out in the field. This, however, actually all of a sudden starting to look like a really, really good trade for Cookies. He does have Armor 2 coming out, which is very good. That obviously gives you a little bit of hull integrity as well, so it's going to help against the railguns too, whereas Armor 1 doesn't really do anything against rails. But there's the fleet capacity that he needs. And he's actually got money to go straight to another PC here, so perhaps he ought to just queue that instantly. Yeah, and he does. So it looks like he was thinking that same thing. As for SickIGN, just now starting to get the RU salvagers filled out here on the 2nd. But I should say, I think he's still ahead in money so far, like money mined. It's questionable though, because he did lose some salvagers on that side, I guess. Yeah, the units lost tab kind of does not tell the whole story here in this case, because I think it's Cookies who's ahead right now, but SickIGN does have a pretty okay army, I would say. It's not great right now because he needs to get the rails into a position where they can do a lot, but he's got that base footer still, he didn't lose it, so he can use this to get some extraction pressure, which is pretty big. Cookies really just wants to stay up until he gets kind of siege. That's when he's going to be really powerful, and he does already have that teched. Good. So that's quite nice for him. I kilk win button. Agreed. I've said it before, if you just build Con F Siege, you'll start winning games. It's crazy. I mean, it's such a good unit, you know? Like, at the top level, it's obviously strong. It doesn't feel, like, busted, you know what I mean? But at, like, mid-tier play, honestly, sometimes it feels like it really is just an auto-win. This might be as well, by the way. Uh-oh. LAV's just totally popping in here. There's no vision on this at all, so he's only just now seeing it. It's gonna be a little bit awkward. Fires. Oh, SickIGN, don't back away from this. Oh, that's really crippling. That's so big. If you get a window like that, you take it. You know what I mean? That's too bad. By the way, Sandskimmer rating. I don't know why this for Cookies. He's only just now starting to build them. Maybe he wants that to get a bit of a blob up so that he can kill the railguns. He's not really floating CU though. Like, he's got RUs in the bank, so I don't know if he needs to be having a skim phase here, but we'll see though. At any rate, he definitely needs fleet capacity up. Looks like he's gonna flip this PC actually up just straight over onto the 3rd base location. Let's send 2 guys out here, which is very timely. It's like right when the salvagers reach there. I love this move, because now this has to be dealt with, and this is going to be really tough for SickIGN to do anything about. But he did get that 1 artifact for this place. It's nice for him. We saw before how difficult it is for the carrier to slide up into that position. It's very difficult, so yeah, these 2 assault ships can actually do a lot. I actually don't really like him pushing in here. Maybe he'll get this logistics module for free, but the threat of these units... like, the threat of these units just, like, being there is much more value than them being here, like, actually attacking, because then this happens, right? So, unfortunate for Cookies, I think that would have been a lot better to, yeah, exactly, that's what I'm trying to say. You just sit him there, just deny potential options from your opponent, rather than actually trying to, like, get something done with them. Seems counterintuitive, right, but, like, this is obviously, just a concept in RTS in general. But speaking of the threat of things, Con F Siege is done now. Get some spooky pings in the distance. Yeah, exactly, right? And just let them know, hey, you can't come here yet. You got to deal with this, right? And it opens up things on the other side. This is exactly what it does, right? Even though it's unfortunate they died there, still, right? A bit of damage on this base spinner. It could have been a kill, maybe, because these LAVs had to go back and respawn, so... It's a little bit of a thin army here, though, for Cookies. At this point, I do actually like him building skims, I'm not gonna lie. He's never gonna have the upgrade lead, right? Kind of Siege is gonna have to be like the anti-LAV force for him. But having some skims with raiding is not gonna be bad for dealing with these railguns, because soul chips are not gonna do it. And soul chips are gonna be against the LAVs. But right now, this is kind of not really... Yeah, this isn't really how he wants to trade either, I don't think. Because the LAVs are still going to really dominate the skims right now with this upgrade lead. This not nice, yeah, I agree, I agree. The thing is, like, skim armor tends to lose to... Well, I should say Strikecraft armor tends to lose to Strikecraft rail. I mean, it can win, I'm not going to say, like, it's a bad matchup, but, like, generally we see it lose. And I think it's because, like, you can't ever engage on flat ground, right? Uh-oh, stream dying. Actually, it looks fine on my end. This looks like a dead base runner, though. I really don't know what SickIGN's doing, because, like, he's got these LAVs ready. You want to screen, you want to be out there in front. Make a bit of a wall with these guys. So, unfortunately, he does lose that base runner kind of just for nothing. But here's that first barrage from the Con of Siege. This one actually a bit of a miss, I would say. It depends what he does with these LAVs. He might just drive them straight in and lose a bunch. No, it looks like he'll be okay. Oops. By the way, there was a lot of talk back when modding first got started. I know A-Game's gonna be mad I bring this up at all, but like, people really did not like that assault cruisers are pretty obviously like a Galician-looking unit. So they were like, it should just be in the Galician forces, you know, move it over to like that team, right? And people point to Con of Siege as like an example of like why assault cruisers would actually be really good in the Galician roster, right? I've got to say, I really disagree with that, though. I think the reason Con of Siege is so good is because of that barrage ability, right? It's because here we have, like, a frontline tank, you know, bruiser type of, like, high-damage unit. But also, if you just leave it alone and try not to engage with it, it'll barrage you from over hills. It's like, that's insanely good, right? I think that's the real reason why Con of Siege really dominates, you know, and why you can get so much done with it. Big flank here, by the way, as these rails come in, but I think actually the LAVs really want to be there. Although, they do kind of also want to deal with this. Yeah, this is somehow gotten away from me, sorry. There's units everywhere. Like, both players have sort of outflanked each other, I suppose. Assault cruisers are done for SickIGN, so you can kind of listen to my advice. I don't know how you could say that, because I played this game a long time ago. But he did build assault cruisers, and they have netted him a kill on one of the ACs. Or KSCs, that is. And this is good too. He's gonna come back here to try and deal with the backstab, but he's already lost all of the soldiers off that main base, and you can lose a lot of LAVs here. I need to be so careful with that. Overcharge used now on both the ACs there, just to hunt down these assault chips, which you can do just fine. But this Con of Siege could give him some trouble, especially if he's bunched up. You want to avoid the AoE fire here. Oh, barrage, I like that. You want to barrage when your opponent's retreating, not when they're pushing, because that's actually really a long cooldown. However, yeah, like I said, it is going to kill one of the ACs. Now, what happened to those rails down there? It looks like he was wondering the same thing. The thing is, if they had something to spot for them, this would be a lot more threatening. It would actually kind of force this carrier to leave, but as it stands, they can't see anything, which is a little bit awkward. Oh, Tac Missile Barrage actually going to land really powerfully on this Con of Siege, but he's got high ground, so SickIGN probably wins this fight if he micros it right. Oh. Yeah, he does. Okay, he gets the kill there. Very, very nice. That's 2 Con of Siege dead. That's not small. Rail's just gonna leave for SickIGN, it looks like. He did see that Con of Siege briefly. Got some damage on it, but has to go. But it looks like that Con of Carrier is respawning. He's moving out here, so... Whew, this guy gonna be counting his lucky stars. Wants to hit that heal ability now. And that was a very good Tac Missile Barrage. It was quite nicely done. Looks like he's just gonna go back on his main now as Cookies. But it's SickIGN with the field control right now. I'd love to see actually a couple base runners from him, but power reserves are a good call here, I think, because he's looking to make a bit of a, you know, that kind of a play. Skims actually did get 1 damage upgrade here for Cookies, but I feel like these LAVs really want to come back and deal with this. Yeah, down they go. They can't do a whole lot actually in this front line based on like what we've seen. Although, you know, maybe I take it back because there are actually heavy rails out now. I didn't see Cookies even teching that, so that's my bad. 2 assault cruisers will beat a Con of Siege, but he's got a lot of backing with these heavy rails here. And then there's that barrage I was talking about, but he actually cancels it by giving it a move order. He may have actually, if he got a bit lucky, he may have gotten a kill on one of these ACs here. Thing is, SickIGN is a big rail force as well, and this can be withered down by Con of Siege, obviously, but it makes it difficult for Con of Siege to be that frontline unit that it wants to be. You'd almost like prefer Galzian Siege here, which is kind of weird to say, because normally Con of Siege seems like the better unit. This is a really, really good fight for Cookies, though. A lot of AoE going to be taken there, and he's actually a bit lucky not to lose one. Oh, the barrage could have been so big there. He didn't fire it quite far enough away there. He could have actually killed one of those ACs, I think. It's a pity. I mean, like I said, it's a long cooldown, so you do really have to land it when you fire it these days. EMP done though for the Con of Siege. Another PC came out, it looks like, so he's ready to mobilize his carrier too. And yeah, I was about to say, you know, power should come out as well. So power 2 on the queue now. So watch out here. Doesn't want to bring those skims out there in front of the assault cruisers, but looks like he'll be okay. He does back away in time. But power 4 on the way for SickIGN. That's quite a lot. Again, a couple base runners would go big way here, because right now... Oh, man. Okay. I thought he was going to EMP the whole blob there and just, like, murder it, but it doesn't look like it. But yeah, right now he's got full field control. Hey, there is one. But yeah, he can probably extract anything he picks up right now. And that carrier power and that threat of ending the game is really, really powerful. Power 2 done for Cookies, so he's definitely behind on the power war, but his carrier is very, very strong on this map, as I mentioned before. Because of the way that it can barrage over the dunes here. These skims are going to want to be like proactive to try and like get vision, so that he knows what's happening, and this is exactly why. A bit of a flank coming out now for Sick. A bit of a flank. He's got 4 ACs here. This is actually a lot of assault cruisers. Wants to make a play on this side of the map. Does get that extract out, by the way, and power 4 is done now. This is starting to look like a pretty scary carrier, and obviously the coalition carrier is quite a monster in a lot of ways. But it doesn't have that attrition effect that like the Con F one does. So okay, Skims want a spot. They want to get vision, but they don't want to go too far out here. Triple barrage. Oh man. I've done this before. He hit the R instead of whatever ability he wanted to use there, so... I mean, Silver Lining, he is getting barrage, so he's going to out-heal a lot of the damage of it, but that's got to feel a bit awkward. Probe's out here seeing the carrier, by the way, so these rails are actually getting shots off. Does he have Magic Cell? Yeah, he does, so that's pretty powerful. Cookies, by the way, starting to fear the threat of air here. He's teching Missile Ship Fab. If he can get vision on the carrier, he'd know that tech isn't done, but I think this is not a super bad option. You do want to be safe from air. But now here's an opportunity. He could EMP. Yeah, he's going to fire 2 of them out now. Oh, the tac missile barrage is going to be huge, though. Oh, man. He's going to lose to 2 Con of Siege immediately. And the ACs are just totally going to turn their fire on this Con of Siege now. And they have a big damage output. So this could go quite badly. Yeah, it looks pretty game-ending to me. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the end of it all. Another artifact going to come out as well, by the way. But SickIGN really just has to bring his carrier to bear now. Not to mention he still has the nuke. Oh dear. Ooh. Kind of whoa. I yawned. Kind of a friendly fire barrage there as well, but I like, by the way, how SickIGN has powered the repair beams to full. Like, it seems like he knows what he's playing against. Okay, nice hit on the empty base. There's no CUs left here. That's like the lamest cruise missile he could have fired. I'm mad. Oh well, that's alright. He still does have a lot of rails, and like I said, he's got that Magic Cell upgrade right now. He's not really vulnerable to the skims because he has all the ACs. I think the only thing he's really lacking is like heavy vehicle armor on the railguns, because that helps him to survive the barrages like really, really powerfully. Wow, that's a lot of healing from the carrier. Let's get up on the full on heal beams. But yeah, this is what I mean, right? Like, just that one barrage, look how much damage it does to these railguns. It's crazy. Not to mention the carrier's gonna be firing missiles in too, so getting a bit of armor on these guys is really impactful, actually. If you can get heavy vehicles armor 3 on your railguns, you'll do a lot better. If that's the unit... Oh my gosh, he did kill this PC. If that's the unit you want to use against Khan of Siege, you definitely want to be getting the upgrades. But this is looking really, really good for SickIGN, of course. He's starting to kind of compact his opponent's position here. If he made another base runner, he could have like a game end threat as well, picking up this artifact and this one too. So I think that'd be a really good move, but I mean, he's doing well regardless. Oh boy, he hit the repair again. That's twice now. That's also relatable. I've done that before. Like more than once in a game, you hit the repair instead of whatever ability you were going for. Who knows what it was? Really nice EMP off the back line there, by the way. Manages to finish off one of those assault cruisers there. Nearly loses this kind of siege, but not quite. So he's still giving it a good showing here. But this is really kind of insurmountable odds. He lost the skim blob as well. Wow, did a lot of damage to these skims. But I mean, it's a lot of sources of AoE, you know what I mean? Like, any strategy that revolves around making a large number of cheap units is really going to suffer against Khan of Siege, or just Khan F in general. Really beefy EMP here, by the way. This is exactly what Cookies needs. In fact, this is looking almost okay. I mean, as long as he doesn't lose another Khan of Siege here, which I don't think he will. Oh, actually, maybe he will. Yeah, actually, the railgun's going to snipe in the end. This guy's got, like, full veteran skills. Oh, he didn't even lose the second AC. Wow. Yeah, these railguns did a lot of work. I didn't see that coming. Pretty okay missile there. Does a lot of damage, but it's probably academic at this point. These units, again, like, a lot of... Well, I shouldn't call railguns cheap, but just any strategy that revolves around building a lot of a unit, you know, spamming them out. That many sources of AoE that Khan F has really punishes this, so... Not easy to win from what SickIGN had, but I think it was really just that one play of Cookies trying to push out here. And he feels like he needs to push out because his opponent does have that field control and can get the extractions right, but like you really need to play the war of attrition here and try and like whittle down the number of railguns that he's got, and then you can maybe make a push. As it stands, like going out through the middle like that, really, really risky. And SickIGN definitely going to be... Well, definitely going to be happy about that mistake that his opponent made. He did take game 1 on a map that I really think he should have lost. So this is very good for... This is really good for SickIGN then. Let's see how he does in game 2. Going to be on Le Bonniard. Oui, oui. It's Coalition picked for SickIGN. And this time, Cookie's gonna match it with Soban. He mentioned something about learning Soban in the last game, and it made him like forget how to play Khan F, which I think is pretty funny. That's relatable though. That definitely happens to me. I don't know why my camera was offset there. Looks like Cookie's gonna get the spawn that we generally would say is the better one. People are telling me, like some people that is, I think Phoenixio and SickIGN himself actually were saying this, that they like this spawn better, but I don't know, man. It feels like this one's a lot superior. It is very noticeably different though, and it's kind of uncomfortable for me, because I always feel like, for like competitive reasons, that the two spawns should be like identical. I mean, I actually really think the maps should always be symmetrical. If you could cut them on some axis, they look exactly the same. But, you know, it's pretty close, so it's got that at least. There's a base runner... Whoa! A base runner yawn from Bozo. It's a base runner retire from Cookies here. He gets his first SC queued a little bit faster than SickIGN. But SickIGN is not far behind him with the base runner kept. So this is actually... Oh, wait a minute. Look at this. He's actually going 7-up is the reason why Cookies is a little bit slower there. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if that yields like more money than going 6 up. I should really do the math on this sometime, or at least just like hop into game and run them a couple times and like see which one is faster. But... oh well, SickIGN getting his SC out at about the same time as well, but it looks like there is one LDM done already, which is going to become a short distance miner in just a moment. Although these guys are all long distance miners technically right now. Yeah, there we go. I do manage to get back to the SC, which is fine. LAV Fab on the queue for cookies. And for SickIGN too, I would expect. Yeah, in fact, he's already finished it. He's got that base burner though, so I'd love to see a probe out here. And if you see your opponent here, you know, okay, agreed. I can go heavy on eco. And your opponent probably will think the same thing, but he can't know because he doesn't have that probe. So this way you can sort of leverage the advantage of having the base burner retained. It's going to be a quick production upgrade here for cookies. SickIGN, meanwhile, probably going to start stacking a bit of resources here if he doesn't go for that himself. Yeah, he is going to click on that tech. So who is ahead in eco here? It looks like it is cookies. But SickIGN may as well get a free extraction here, which would feel pretty nice. He does have LAVs coming out to support the space burner, so that should be pretty much done and dusted. I don't think there's any way cookies can stop that, really. So pretty close to symmetrical builds, but not quite. This is a bit of an interesting early game. It is double macro though, so you know. But yeah, you know how it is. AV Fab actually started for cookies now. He does have that production upgrade done, but it looks like he wants to go into the tech. Production upgrade almost done for SickIGN. I wouldn't expect to see him go AV. It's not really his thing. He'll probably go rails here once again. I imagine first he'll just build LAVs, though. I don't think... I mean, there's not really much of a reason to go rails too early. Once he sees AVs, though, I would not be surprised to see him click on that tech, like, instantly. And this is one of his problems that he had when he played Galzian against Marchbladen in an earlier match that we cast, is that he didn't go for any tech when he was playing Galzian. He just had only Sand Scares. You can do that kind of stuff as Coalition, but not really as Galzian, I don't think, so... Assault Pack... close to finishing for both players, actually. Looks like Cookies is going to have it a little bit first. He's got a nice touch of high ground here, so SickIGN not going to be able to push on him just yet, but he does have the numbers, so Cookies should be a little bit safe with these LAVs until he gets the AVs out. And by safe, I don't mean this. This is... oh dear, he's getting collapsed on too. This is quite risky. He has Assault Pack. I mean, he can just like boost right out if he needs to. Yeah, he's going to use it. Does lose one. Loses the cooldown, but not a huge loss there. Making me nervous, though. Definitely pulling on my heartstrings a little bit there. We do have AAVs coming out now, and BC Fat. Whoa, very, very fast. Soban BCs here being teched by Cookies. SickIGN, meanwhile, going with the LAV upgrades, but Cookies is going with the heavy vehicles upgrades there. Probe going to come out then. He'll see the AVs. Yep, there they are. So yeah, SickIGN... oh, he actually had already started Rail Fab. But yeah, he was probably going to do that in response to this otherwise. Also checking though, sees, okay, no air, that's nice. No rails. Not on 3 base yet, but he has positioned that way. So SickIGN may be thinking about moving up to 3 base himself then at this point. He's actually got one in the salvagers already, that's pretty nice. Sick gonna do LAV rail regardless of what he sees. You know, you're probably right. You're probably right about that. But at least, you know, at least he is checking to make sure it's the right call. If it's the wrong call, maybe he'll do it anyway, but at least he's checking, so... This probe probably going to die to these LAVs if he's not careful just yet. Although, being on this line of sight blocker, obviously, it's an unfortunate thing about, like, how DOK handles weapons. We can't make the LAVs not use line of sight when they're attacking air units, so he may have actually been able to just keep it alive on the blocker there, which would have been kind of interesting, but... Not meant to be, though. Battlecruiser Fab almost done now for Cookies. And SickIGN definitely with a massive LAV lead here. He's got the upgrade lead, too. But it's very questionable if he'd be able to go in on those AVs. He doesn't want to risk it. I don't think that's a bad call. I think that's what he wants to do. Let's play this a little bit safe here. Taking more damage now for the LAVs here. He's probably building a couple rails. Yeah. But I would like to see him get up to 3 base though, because that threat of the AVs is not going to reach your base too fast. I mean, maybe at this point he needs to be building rails, but he should have built an SC before is what I mean. He's definitely got the money for it. Well, not anymore. He just queued up 2 rails, I think, but... Oh well. The thing is, Savon VCs are coming out, right? And obviously well, actually they're not coming out yet, but the tech is done. Oh, it looks like he's actually going to party bust them, which I think is a good move here. He's building an SC here, so he's going to unlock carrier first. This fight, by the way, Cookies does not win, so this is nice for SickIGN. But I think that when it comes to like Savon BCs, you'd think was a giant railgun, you know, it's going to counter railguns. That's really the unit that it loses to, so... this is actually kind of not the right field to build Savon BCs, I don't think. Or any BCs at all, I would say. But we'll see, though. We'll see what he goes for. Yeah, I don't know what this base footer is going for, though. That's... that was a little dumb, I'm not gonna lie. He, like, ran up and threw a targeting jammer. It was like, ha! I stunned you. Yeah, I don't know. But it happens, you know, we've all done that before. This, however, is very, very nice. He's actually going to deny this artifact, which is huge. And SickIGN properly recognizes, hey, I can't do anything about it. I might as well just come around. Deal with these AVs instead. Although he does have to worry about the LAVs, I suppose. But it looks like they're not going to counterattack right now. So these AVs should be forfeit. An all-rounder that can take damage and do alpha strikes. Yeah, that's true. That's a good summation of them. So I shouldn't say that they lose to rails, but like if you need to deal with Savon VCs, you probably build rails, right? Rails and carrier power, I guess, but you don't want to let your carrier take too much damage to BCs. That can be a way to lose for sure. What we need Cookies to... Do we need Cookies to win? Sure, let's say so. What we need Cookies to do to win this game, I think, is probably to leverage the BCs, because they can just ignore these LAVs. They're going to do like almost 0 damage to them, right? I think he needs to leverage the BCs to get field control long enough to get some artifacts out and get some power in this carrier, because the Savon carrier can be a real win condition. Coalition carrier, much more of a bruiser, can be that kind of frontline unit, although that is always risky, of course, because you lose the game if you lose the carrier, but the Savon carrier can't really frontline that same way, but it has insane damage output, and it's a big denial to rails too, because it's really, really long ranged. Max range 2150, that's the same as a railgun, I believe. And I mean, it gets vision range there too. It's crazy. So you can snipe rails with like your carrier, which is something that, you know, well, ConF can do. I was gonna say no other faction can do that. That's not exactly true, but it's definitely something powerful about Savon. Railguns are 2050. Oh shoot. Well, that's a huge range advantage then. Because yeah, I was gonna mention the whole radius of the carrier thing. Wow. The thing is, it calculates range from the middle of the unit, you'd think, right? That's how it is for like the railgun, because the turret is in the middle of the unit. But in fact, the way that it's calculating range is from the turret, and so it's like it's 2,150 range from right there. But the railguns have to shoot at the middle because that's where, you know, the unit is, quote unquote. It doesn't shoot at the edge of the hitbox, and so the range to the Savon carrier is actually longer than the range from the Savon carrier's turret to the unit that's shooting at it. So even when you get to like power 4, you have a really big range advantage, I'd say. Full power Savon carrier, nothing to joke about. It's like freaking deadly. Right now, though, I'm actually going to say I think maybe building LAVs is a mistake because the upgrade lead goes in a very big way to SickIGN here, and I don't think that Cookies will ever really match it. So, SickIGN, by the way, just now getting up on a 3 base. He's really behind an eco, but he does have, I guess you'd say, a tech lead. Yeah, I'd say so, because he does have fighter and gunship coming out here. You're right, yeah, because you always got to be wanting to have power in weapons and in armor and in ALMs. That's the cool thing about the Savon carrier, I think, is there's like a real reason to put power in everything here. It's hard to justify putting it all in one stat. But like, if your opponent has rails, man, you're so scary with power 5 in range. And this is a lot of rails, let's make no mistake. 12. AV's now starting to chonk. Or at least they'd like to, but they really have to just kind of pop up the smoke wall and back off here. This is a lot of railguns, like I said. I mean, the DPS is real here, but SickIGN really needs to get those 4 into the fray too, because obviously this is the kind of fight that if you lose it, you're going to lose it hard. If you win it, you're probably going to win it hard too. So you want to really make sure you commit everything into this fight. He's going to pick off the AVs though. And when they go down, these Soban BCs, well, they're not going to die to LAVs, but the LAVs can kind of run past them too. Not really going to take much damage that way. ALM's getting deployed frontline though. That's actually a big deal because if these, oh, and by the way, LAVs really shouldn't focus the BCs. I don't think they can do any damage there. They just want to focus on the LAVs that are attacking them. Attack Bomber's teching now. I don't know about that. It seems pretty low tempo, but you know, we'll see. Maybe he can make it work. But the LAVs actually really want to just run by, I think, and start damaging like the back line, but I don't know. They're kind of all dead now, actually, to be honest with you. They sort of melted away here. One Saban BC did go down, I noticed that. Yeah, I agree. They should have been focused down a lot more. I noticed LAVs shooting BCs for a while, which definitely has to be a mistake. Even when they get armor broken, the LAVs just don't do much damage to BCs at all. And this is definitely a fight BCs like, the Alpha Strike, right? If you pop in to take like one shot and then back away, well, they're gonna kill like 3 of you, so that's really not how you want to fight this one. There's a lot of Soban BCs. This is a unit that where when it gets masked up like this, it starts to feel really difficult to deal with. This is, I mean, this is looking like a win to Cookies for sure. BC here, gonna want to pop the smoke. Ooh. Oh, just a little bit too late. Last shot here by this railgun does manage to get off there. He's still got 4 though, right? Oh no, he's only got 2 actually. I guess he's building another one though. But SickIGN starting to get routed here. He does have bomber tech done, but again, it's very low tempo. He's got to build them first. Yeah, remember when people kept telling you that like Soban BCs were useless? You're like, I think you're just not using them right. This is how they're used right. This is a very good display by Cookies here. Which, like I said, I thought SickIGN was maybe the better player, but I mean, Cookies is no slouch. They did have high ground, of course, but this is like what I said, right? I mean, rails are kind of the counter to Soban BCs here, but you really gotta... I mean, it's kind of like kind of Siege in a way, isn't it? Where, like, if you have the counter unit to it, that doesn't mean that you beat it automatically, right? Like, when you have enough AVs, like, LAVs don't really fight you, right? Well, that's maybe not true, but... you know, it's not a counter in that same sense. Like, if you take the fight poorly against Soban BCs, they'll just absolutely tear you a new one. Yeah, I agree. I mean, he definitely had windows to... He definitely had windows to get a lot done there. But in that last fight, though, I think he still probably could have... he probably could have pulled that last one out still. I mean, at this point, it's pretty obviously done. I'm talking like the game's over, because it might as well be. But in that really big climactic fight here, he maybe could have made that one win. This is one of the problems with this spawn, though, is that you do get into fights like this where you have to fight uphill. He didn't have all of his rails there, though. There were like 5 of them chilling on the back line here. Because you imagine if he had all of them, this is not a bad position because it doesn't have low ground to a lot of places, but he really wants to get up to here if he can. You know, it would have been a much more competitive fight, I guess I'll say. SickIGN, by the way, doing his darndest to try and put some damage on the spawn carrier, but obviously this one was pretty cut and dry at that point, so Cookies is going to take it. That brings the series to 1-1. So the jury's still out on which one of these guys is better, I suppose, eh? But Cookies looking really strong. He floundered a bit in game 1, but he started really strong as well. I mean, he was, yeah, he was doing well. Well. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I think that'll be my last for today. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching on YouTube when this finally gets uploaded. Oh gosh, I swear I really will do that someday. You know what another problem is like I've always recorded these things in FLV, and I was using this like trash video editing software, but now I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro. But like, it can't use FLV. It's like not a supported format, so that's I kind of shot myself in the foot with that one. So I've got to like, you know, I've got to like convert them all to like MOV files or like MP4 or something, and then like work on it from there. Oh well, enough bewailing my own situation. Hope you guys enjoyed the casts, and I will see you next time. Might be in a couple days, but we'll see. Like I said, it is finals week.